This program is brought to you by UCKG.
At a young age, I was exposed to quite a few things that I shouldn't have been exposed to. So at about 6 or 7, I was exposed to pornography, and it really did affect me. And there was another incident where my sister and I, when we were younger, we were led into an alleyway by a few older boys around our area, and we were forced to do things that we didn't want to do. And through that, I built up quite a deep hatred towards men. I felt like men would take advantage of me, so I didn't allow myself to get into any relationships. And that hatred even transferred onto my family members. With my brother, I didn't feel comfortable around him. I didn't like him looking at me for too long. We would get into physical fights. I didn't care that he could beat me up. I just didn't like him at all. And also with my dad, I didn't look at him in the same way. I really wasn't comfortable around men because, I didn't want to be taken advantage of in the same way that I was when I was younger. My worst point was when my mum passed away, actually on my younger brother's birthday. So we were actually getting ready to leave the house and celebrate his birthday, and all of a sudden my mum had collapsed, and we found out later on that she'd passed away. And that's when I actually developed quite a bad anxiety, and I actually began to actually develop symptoms of problems that my mum was going through when she was alive. And so in my mind, I was next. So whatever she had gone through, I was probably gonna, go through the same thing. And so I had no peace. I couldn't sleep at night because, to be honest, I didn't know whether I'd wake up the next morning. The health problems kept getting worse, and I'd go to the doctor and they would find nothing wrong with me. And I realized that it was something spiritual, or something quite serious. My siblings and I, we were invited to the place of worship by a friend of ours, and we all came together, but we didn't expect to actually find help. We came to the youth group and, it was all fun and games. We liked the music. I could sing, so I enjoyed performing and stuff like that. But I realized that nothing was really changing for me because I was only attending the youth group. So it wasn't until I actually attended the place of worship and, I listened to the words that I was receiving, and it really stood out for me, and it helped me to see the reality of what I was going through, and I actually needed to change because what I was going through wasn't normal. So that is when I said enough is enough. And I actually, took in the words that I were learning. I learned to overcome the grudges. I learned to use my faith so I could get rid of the fears. So I'm completely different now. It's like my life took a 180 degrees turn. My family is united. People come up to us and ask, how are you and your siblings so united? Not realizing that it hasn't always been like that. In my house there's peace. I'm no longer angry at my brother, I have no grudges. My life's just moving forward in every single way. And even with my dad, he's seen the difference, the change in us, to the point where he never used to agree with the place that we were coming to worship. And now he's inviting other family members for us. He invited my half-brother to come because he saw the change in us, and he saw, that the place we were coming to was actually helping.
Welcome to your program, Problems and Solutions. You are seeing families being restored through the power of God. You are seeing testimonies of people that their lives has been transformed. And we just stop and we are here right now to give you this message, my dear friend, that regardless of your problem, regardless of your situation, the doors of the Universal Church are open to help you. But more than the doors of the Universal Church, through this program, God is giving you an opportunity for your life to change. Because God has been seeing your tears. God has been seeing your suffering. Maybe you are a person that you spoke even to God today, yesterday, this night, last night, and you said, if you really exist, give me a sign. And you are watching us right now. My dear friend, for your problem, there is solution. God has been, setting people free from problems, from traumas. God has been restoring families. God has been making so many impossible things, humanly speaking, to become possible. And you who are watching me right now, you can be part of this cloud of testimonies. You can see and experience the power of God in your life. You know that every Thursday at the Universal Church, we have this special service for the family and for the love life. If you want to know more about the therapy of love that we have every Thursday, you can go to our website www.uckg.se, and you're going to know more about the therapy of love. Or you can come tomorrow, you can join us tomorrow. Our service on Thursdays at 7 p.m., where we have this great service for the love life that we are talking about reconstruction. Maybe you are someone that you need to reconstruct your life because you have been trying, but it seems that the situation doesn't change. Maybe you were disappointed in your love life. Maybe your marriage has been destroyed. Maybe you suffer because of something that happened in your past. You know that the biggest problem that people has been facing, and people we have been counseled here in the therapy of love at the Universal Church, is traumas that people carry inside of them. And maybe you are someone that you are successful, in your professional. Maybe you are successful in your dreams, in your career. But maybe when we talk about love, your life has been a tremendous disaster. My dear friend, this is not your end. But we are here to tell you that God has the power to reconstruct your life. Not just your love life, but your life as well, to take you out of this situation. And Thursdays we have this special prayer. But of course, the doors of the Universal Church are open every day. Our address is Birger, Jarlsgatan 106. We are very near to the t-bana, Tekniska. And you are our guest to join us. And then if you go to our website, you can see also our address in Göteborg, also our address in Malmö, and the days and the times that we have our prayer. I will leave you with more testimonies, and I hope to see you with us here tomorrow or any day here at Universal Church. If you need help, if you want to talk to someone also, until the end of this program, you're going to see our telephone number there. You can call us, you can text us. We'll be here ready to talk to you. May God bless you, and let's continue seeing what God has been doing in people's lives.
My name is Andrew Reed. Before finding faith, my relationship with my dad wasn't great at all. When I was born, me and my twin, my parents, they separated. So I was moved to live with my grandparents. I used to see my mom like every 3 weeks. She used to come and visit. But my dad, I probably used to see him maybe once or twice a year. So I was brought up knowing him, but not knowing him. I never used to see him as my dad. I used to see my grandfather as my dad, because as I said, my dad wasn't really around, so that relationship, that bond wasn't really there. So I remember he came to visit us on a weekend, and he promised that it was next time when he was going to come back, he's going to bring a gift for us. I think it was a bike, but up until now I still haven't seen that bike. Well, he came to look for us, but with nothing. So I never used to believe in his words. So even if he said he's going to come and look for us, or if he said he's going to bring something for us, I never used to believe him. Things got worse when my grandfather died. When my grandfather died, it was one of the worst moments of my life, because as I said, I was brought up by him and my grandmother. My grandmother passed away first, and then 4 years after, my grandfather passed away. So that for me was one of the saddest moments of my life. And my dad wasn't there at all. I don't know if he heard about his dad pass away, but I'm sure he did, but there was nothing. There was no communication, he didn't come to see how his sons were doing. There was nothing. So from that moment, in my mind, there was no dad. In my mind, I'm just alone now, So I never really think of him. And for me, it was normal not to have a relationship with him, because he wasn't there when I was young anyway. So for me, it was normal. Until I came to a place of worship when I really wanted to change my life around. And in the process of changing my life around, I started to look into my life, into myself, and I realized that my dad was an issue, yes, but maybe I contribute to that issue as well. I remember when I was around 15 that I spoke to him in a way that I shouldn't have spoken to him, because he said something to my grandfather, and then obviously I took over from there, and then I said something that I shouldn't have said. So I started to look into myself that, you know, instead of putting the blame on him, I have to put the blame on myself as well, because as a son, and as him being the dad, having authority over me, I didn't have the right to speak to him anyhow I feel like. So I start to look into myself, and then I decide to make a decision into start building a relationship with him. It was hard. It was hard because I didn't really want to, but I know I have to if I want to be a different person. I managed to get his phone number because he lives in the US, and I rang him. I remember the phone was ringing and my heart was just beating fast. And then he picked up, and then I said, "Hello Dad, how are you?" And he was surprised to hear my voice. He was quite happy, and we started talking from there. And I told him that the reason why I was calling is to apologize for the way I've been for all these years, and obviously he was surprised. He started apologizing to me as well. And since that day, you know, it didn't happen overnight, but gradually our relationship started becoming better and better. By repairing my relationship with my dad, I find myself having more peace, and I find my relationship with God even more better in my communication, because I don't have any hard feeling, any grudge in my heart. So I just find myself having more peace inside of me, and more joy when I'm speaking to him, because before I didn't want to speak to him, but now when I speak to him, I want to speak to him. Do you understand that? And each time we speak, I have this joy, you know, in talking to him. My life now is great. Family-wise, my family is great. I communicate with all my families. Everyone is happy. My life is moving forward. And yeah, since coming to this place, it's definitely transformed my life and transfer the way I view my family as well.
10 reasons to take part in the love therapy. 10. Overcome traumas.
The love therapy helped me overcome, my traumatic experiences internally. When it came to my hatred, against women, it taught me to have a clean heart and really take the dirt out that's inside of me. 9. Understand boundaries.
It helps me overcome my issues with, for example, being unfaithful to one person, not understanding the value of women. It helped me to see that women are not just objects. It helped me to understand the importance of marriage.
8. Learn to value yourself.
Valuing myself, becoming more confident, bold, bettering my relationships with those who are around me. And today I no longer have that mentality of being afraid of getting involved when it comes to my love life. 7. Learn about intelligent love.
The more I came, the more I wanted to learn more about myself and how I could make an impact in my love life, since I wanted to change.
6. Use reason over emotion.
Work on myself, it would improve my self-esteem and make me believe in myself. And as I come and I apply everything that I learned in the love therapy, I'm able to see results and be more confident that when I get into a relationship, I'll be able to succeed.
5. Better relationships with others.
The love therapy helped me overcome issues by allowing me to become more confident within myself, knowing my value, knowing who I am. And I was able to learn things that I can be able to teach my family. And I was able to express it to my family so we can have a good relationship with my family.
4. Prepare yourself before dating.
You come to the love therapy and it's actually a mirror, I still need to work on making sure that I tell the truth all the time. I still need to work on making sure that I'm removing the things that aren't good in my life, for example. And I still have to, make sure that I'm working on my character daily, because then that way I'm priming myself for when the perfect partner comes along.
3. Become a better husband and wife.
So, for example, if they're going through a situation or a problem, the love therapy helped them to understand, okay, this problem can be resolved in this way. It's not all just about, your love life, but it's also about you on the inside, for you to unravel those things that's within yourselves so that you know how to improve and to be better.
2. Believe in love.
Now I have that love for myself first. And I think that's going to always be the biggest thing, is having that comfort in myself and knowing that I'm good on my own. Like, and the thing is, if I'm good on my own and I'm complete on my own, then I'm going to be good with somebody else as well.
1. Bulletproof your relationship.
I learned how to build a good relationship with him, how to have a happy marriage.
The love therapy.
This program is brought to you by UCKG.